Western countries feel that the course is very expensive.
Yes, yes.
And I understand that the fees that you're charging are different according to which part of the world you come from.
Yes,
yes.
It depends on which part of the world they come from.
Yes, so people from America or Western Europe would pay
Yes.
more than people from Russia or Africa.
Russia or Africa.
Yes.
Africa is totally free.
Totally free, yes, yes.
There are countries I think for Indonesia it will be totally free. But even now 90% of Indians, they have only free courses.
Yes.
Only 10% of them are being charged. The
Yes.
majority of people who go through these courses are still getting it free. See, what's basically happening is, since 90% of the courses are free, the remaining 10% will have to subsidize for them, you know. That's what is happening. The other thing is, we are setting up a vast infrastructure because we have to house these 8,000 beings who will be in higher levels of consciousness, which in effect becomes the powerhouse. Now, we have to need the structures for that. We have to need the funds for maintaining them. So a part of the funds goes there. And the other thing is, even for the advanced countries like America and Europe, when Deeksha givers do recommend people saying these are very deserving candidates, it's free for them. It's not that all Americans and all Western Europeans are charged, but not much publicity is being given to this, because in that case then there will be a whole lot of people asking for that.
Yes.
But whenever there's a deserving candidate, he or she gets it free. But unless we charge, we will not be able to create this infrastructure for the future, which is going to be the powerhouse. So it becomes very essential. And in fact, we are going slow because of want of funds. That's the reason why we are engaged in some business activities to build up funds so that we could quickly achieve those targets.
And do you think at any time this kind of course could be offered in a different location than here? Could it be offered in America or in Europe?
What we are aiming at is the complete abolition of the course itself. Because we do not want to continue with the courses, you know. We want humanity to get there, not be conducting courses. So this is just a preparation to get ready the people who can give the Deeksha, and then the whole of mankind makes it. It's not that it will be continuing year after year forever, no?
I see.
Not that it will become an organized religion or an organized structure, no. We are very clear about it.
मन मंदिर में ही हंसते रहना मेरे प्रभु मेरे कानों में कुछ कुछ कहते रहना मेरे प्रभु
मेरे मन मंदिर में ही हंसते रहना मेरे प्रभु मेरे कानों में कुछ कुछ कहते रहना मेरे प्रभु करुणा के तुम सागर सब गुण के
Bhagavan, during our visit this time to Oneness University, we've been hearing and seeing a great deal about the 100 Village project, which I understand is actually overflowed to more than 100 villages. What exactly is your plan for these, all of these villages around this place?
Yes. Basically, it's like this. See, Amma Bhagavan are there, and we have made these 170 dasas fully enlightened. So in a sense, the phenomenon has become more powerful because of their addition. Now, it's easy to affect the people who live surrounding us. They get added on, and the phenomenon becomes more powerful. Using that power, we would like to enlighten India as quickly as possible. Then that number gets added on, then it becomes very powerful. Then at that point of time, the Deeksha givers in the West, wherever they are, through just a single Deeksha, they can make the Western world enlightened. So that is our, it's like stepping up the power gradually in phases. Like if you have to start a huge electric motor, you can't straight away start it. It is a small motor, use that to start a bigger one, use that to start a bigger one. It goes on like that. That's how you could start the big motor, you know. So ultimately the idea is that in the Western world, the Deeksha givers, they should in a single touch in less than 3 minutes give enlightenment. because that is now already happening in the villages now. We believe the same thing could be replicated in the Western world. So the Deeksha givers are settling down all over the world now. But to empower them, they might be enlightened, but they may not be able to give enlightenment. For that, the whole country has to become enlightened. India, because in this land we have prepared the people for thousands of years, so they can tune into it very easily. And to make India enlightened, we had to make these villages enlightened. So that's the work which is now going on. So it is first the dasas, then the village, the 150 odd villages. Actually, we call it a 100 village project, but in fact, it's much more than that. And then that steps up the Indian motor, and then the Western Deeksha givers and those in Japan, China, everywhere, they get the power to give enlightenment, and the whole world is through. That's the idea.
We did visit these villages. We visited the local village. The name I can never pronounce. It's Varad.
Pardepalayam.
I've tried so many times, I
Yes,
can't say
yes.
that word. And we've met some extraordinary people who
Yes.
I interviewed.
Yes.
Very, very simple people. A weaver
Yes.
who, he told me, he said he went to one Deeksha,
Yes.
and since then there's only been peace. And I really looked hard, and I could see this man was really drowning in peace. Have you noticed, as more and more people are shifting in consciousness, have you noticed, or has anybody noticed, changes in the social fabric of the communities, in the way people
Yes.
behave?
We have seen very dramatic changes, like the village behaving like one family, respecting its elders, respecting its children, taking care of them, respecting the women who have come into the village, and there's people giving up the habit of drinking, of smoking, and meat eating. So many dramatic changes have happened, and those were legal battles having out of the court settlement. So many dramatic changes have started to happen. Many dramatic changes have started happening in the villages.
The other thing that I heard, as well as the changes you mentioned, which I think is very touching and significant, is there's been significant reduction in spousal abuse, men beating their wives.
That is dramatically reduced.
Yes. I actually heard this from a government official, which
Yes.
is very reassuring, and it's something I'd love to see
Yes.
spread all over the world.
Yes.